Welcome to the Networking with Michelle podcast, the show dedicated to providing you with life strategies with a little bit of entrepreneur advice. Here we believe in the Jim Rohn quote, success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. Hey everyone, thank you for tuning in to the Networking with Michelle show. I'm your host, Michelle Gomez, where we discuss life strategies with a bit of entrepreneurial advice. And I am so grateful for you, for listening, for supporting me online, offline. You are appreciated. And today's episode is actually my presentation from last week. I had a chance to speak at People Fund on my Time to Make Some Noise, 7 Steps to Creating an Influential Personal Brand. And I am truly grateful and humbled with each and every speaking opportunity, but not even a but last week we had a great turnout and a great reception and feedback from people in the audience. But I think what actually surprised me when I got home, people were connecting with me on LinkedIn. And some people were like, oh, I didn't have a chance to make it. I really wanted to meet you. Other people were like, my friend heard you speak earlier today. She said great things about you. She shared your notes. And I just wanted to connect with you online. And I'm absolutely floored by that. And I thank you for everyone that has connected with me online. And this is for you. I stated that I will send you a link. So this is the episode, Time to Make Some Noise, 7 Steps to Creating an Influential Personal Brand. If you're a faithful listener, you've already heard this earlier in the year. But if you're a new listener, get out your pen, paper, take some notes. Let me know what you think. And always interested in what you have to say in order for me to become better at what I do. So keep in mind, I recorded this presentation on my phone. I was walking around, so the volume is not at its finest, but bear with me. I will put the links for the other episodes regarding the 7 steps to creating an influential personal brand. Pretty much definitely the same thing, give or take, but you'll get the point. Also get a chance to download the guide. I'll have all of those links in the show notes. So without further ado. All right, good morning everyone. My name is Michelle Gomez, and today we're going to make some noise. Time to make some noise. 7 steps to creating an influential personal brand. All right? 7 steps to creating an influential personal brand. Before we get started, I want to know from you, what has brought you to this session specifically?
Me, the title.
The title? Okay. Anyone else? Is it the personal brand piece?
They make that noise.
Make the title make some noise. Okay, we're going to talk about the title. If I trip, don't laugh. Okay, just help me up. Actually, for me, it was facility. What brought you to this session today? Time to make some noise. 7 steps to creating an influential personal brand.
Some new ideas, unique, different ideas.
Different ideas. Okay. Anyone else? One more person.
The facilitator.
Thank you. Thank you.
You can add that reminds me.
Yes.
I like the word the influential person.
Influential. Okay. There's a reason why I put that in there, right? Because lots of times we can't worry. In the age of followers and likes, we start to worry about quantity versus quality, right? So you want to make sure you have the right people following your personal brand. And we'll get into that. So a little bit about me, Michelle Gomez. I am the founder of Line 25 Consulting, a digital marketing firm where I work with small business owners on creating content and social media marketing strategies, right? What I realized in this space over the past 5 years, small business owners would come to me, they're like, I don't know what to say, I don't know what to post on social media. Well, you don't have any content, right? So I help business owners create content in order for them to post on social media. Right? I'm also the author of 2 books, Network, Navigate, and Nurture, The Equation to Strategic Networking. From that, I started my podcast, Networking with Michelle. Once I did 150 interviews, I took half of those interviews and I wrote my second book, Success Undefined. Right? So I'm always creating content
for social media, for my personal brand. All right, so number one, the first thing, well, let me back up a little bit. So with those books and that podcast, a lot of people are like, Michelle, how do you do what you do? And one day, actually it was in December, I sat down and I was like, okay, Michelle, what are you doing? Like, sometimes you know what you're doing, but it's too close to home. So I was like, let me see if I can reverse engineer this process and share it with people. So I pulled out all of my marketing books, all of my branding books that I've been studying, from Gary Vaynerchuk to Mark Echo to whomever, right? The articles that I've been saving, I pulled them down. And from that, I started seeing the reoccurring themes, right? And there are 7 things that I've been able to put in a nutshell, and we're going to go through them, okay? So feel free to stop me and ask any questions at any time. The first thing, you have to establish a core message. You have to establish a core message. What do you want to be known for? So when someone sees you, they know exactly what you do, your industry. Okay? When you're known for that thing, what do you want to say? Having your core message is so important. It's the nucleus of your brand. Okay? And keep in mind, I know I have personal brand in the title, but I'm using the word brand loosely, so this can be your company brand or your personal brand. Right? Let's not get bogged down with semantics. Okay? It's the brand of your organization, small business owner, entrepreneur, nonprofit. It's the brand of your organization. Okay? So I want you to think of this. If you have, I don't even know how to call it, but you have the nucleus of your brand, right? The circle in the middle, the core message, right? Mine started out as networking. Everything else is going to stem from that, right? It's going to, and we're going to go through the other 6 things, right? But everything's going to stem from that. Your products, your website, your services, your social media piece. Everything stems from your core message, right? Does that make sense? So with that core message, right, when you know what you're doing, what you want to be known for, are you able to provide solutions to your audience? Right? When you start creating content, when you start sharing information on social media, are you providing solutions to your audience based off of your core message? Number 2, you have to create a platform. You have to create a platform. Content is king. Right? So nowadays, we're seeing everything. I think it's like 80% of our content we consume is via video. Does anyone get sucked in that black hole called Facebook? Called YouTube. Instagram? Called YouTube? You're just like, I know I had 10 things off my to-do list that I will push back until tomorrow, right? Because we're watching videos, right? Whether it's the cats, the India highlights, we're watching videos, okay? So, now this is the thing. When it comes to creating a platform, I believe you have to play to your strengths, okay? Yes, video is popular. Yes, video is in demand. But video may not be your strength. It takes time to do video. It takes money to do video. I'm not saying you got to hire a videographer and do all this fancy stuff, but you want to have a good phone, lighting, all that kind of stuff, right? If you're a good writer, write. Okay? If you have a face for radio like I do, start a podcast. Okay? All right? And even when I started my podcast, it was very interesting. I was doing interviews, and then my first episode was like, hi, my name is Michelle. Like, I know my name, I knew my core message, but it was new to me, right? And it took me a while, it's been 3 years, and I'm still pushing through on finding my voice. I'm comfortable, but I'm still pushing through and finding my voice, okay? So play to your strengths. When I say create a platform, figure out what will work for you. Are you a good writer? Write. If you already have a website, add the blog component. Put the post on LinkedIn, on medium.com. Okay? If you want to do podcasts, email me. I'll send you my podcast checklist. I also encourage you, though, to, if you don't want to start your own platform, maybe you want to see if you can do interviews or guest posts on other platforms. Okay? Maybe you're not ready to write every week or once a month for your own website, for your own blog post. But hey, there's this website that I read all their articles every week, and I have some ideas. Maybe I can submit a blog post to them. How about that? All right? So if you can't create a platform, what are you going to do to leverage another platform? Okay? If you can't create a platform, what are you going to do to leverage another platform? I do a lot of interviews, and we'll talk about the interview piece for number 6. All right, so number 3. Now this is important, okay? This is where, I don't know about you, but I like meat and potatoes. I like to be fed, right? I'm trying to feed y'all some good stuff today, all right? So, what was number 1? Establish a core message, okay? So here we are at number 3. Get social. You can put my stuff there. Fine? Get social with your story. So how are you going to create your story if you don't have a core message? Okay? So once you have your core message, I want you to write down 3 bullet points. Those 3 bullet points are going to help you with your story. Okay? So I'm sure all of us have heard about Start With Why by Simon Sinek. Okay? I think this is a great starting point. Why do you do what you do? Why do you help patients transition from the hospital to home? Why do you help attorneys get media, get publicity? Why do you do what you do? Okay. So when we start with why, let's go to when. When did you decide to do what you do? For many of us, or for myself, when did I decide to leave corporate America and start this business? Or as I like to say, when did I decide to go rogue? Thought I had a plan. I just still have a plan. But when did you decide to do what you do? What was the turning point in your life? What was the turning point in your business? Okay. Start with why, go to when. That's my favorite part. Number 3. The value is in the how. The value is in the how, right? There's so many people out here selling you on your why. Let me help you find your why. You should already know your why, right? You don't need to pay someone to tell you your why, but you may need to pay someone when it comes to the value, it comes to the how, right? The value is in the how. Does anyone know what their unique selling proposition is, the USP? You want to share with it?
My unique selling proposition, I do accounting, tax preparation, and bookkeeping, and nothing fancy, nothing sexy, but I have 19 years experience as tax officer in the federal revenue service, so I push that.
Push that. 19 years of experience. Now, do you want to go with someone with 19 years of experience, or you want to go with someone with 9 months of experience? Okay? So this is the thing. Everyone has their experience. They have this beautiful website. They have this pretty social media platform, but the value is in the how. And the reason why the value is in the how is because of the systems, the process. Okay? What is the process? When you call this person, this company on the phone, are they answering your questions? Are they making up numbers? I remember one time I called this photographer, and I was like, I want to do X, Y, Z. And he was like, what's your budget? Well, I was asking him, like, what's your rate? You know, but he was BSing me. That's fine. I get it. I'm a small business owner. So he was like, what's your budget? And I was like, $750. And he was like, okay, it's going to cost $700. I'm like, no, it's not. You just want to take all my little coins. Right. And the thing is, he didn't have a defined rate, right? So I don't know if I would have been saving or losing money, but because I didn't like his process, because I didn't like how we had a conversation, how he was doing something, I didn't see any value in it. Right? So the value is in the how. How do you do things? How do you run your business? Okay? Telling you those processes, those systems, having someone to go from A to Z in your client services is going to help set you apart from your competitor.
Okay. Just so
Yeah.
elaborate a little bit on the when.
The win. All right, so win is really about the turning point, okay? When did you leave your job to start your business?
Okay, that's what you meant. Okay.
Or when maybe, well, it's going to go to my next thing, but it's really about the turning point, like what shifted, okay? So if you have your core message, mine was networking, or is networking, okay? And so why networking? All right, so starting with why networking? It was in 2012, I started grad school. I knew I wasn't gonna have a typical grad school experience. I needed to take classes online. But through all of my research, a lot of the websites and forums for grad students were saying, grad school is really about networking, it's about the experience. And I was like, how am I gonna find a way to network if I'm taking classes online? So I joined the Houston Area Urban League Young Professionals, and I joined the Black MBA Association. And I sat on those boards for 1 to 2 years, okay? And then from my involvement with those organizations, I started my business, Line 25 Consulting. Within the first year of business, I realized that people were requesting me to speak because of my leadership roles. And I was like, okay, I want to take this speaking seriously. I want to be a professional speaker. What can I do to further my professional speaking as a baby, right, as a newbie? So therefore, I decided to write a book. My first book, Network, Navigate, and Nurture, okay? So that's the turning point, okay? So I wrote that book in 2014, 9 months within business, and within that first year of writing my book, I was asked to speak at 6 conferences, okay? All right. So I go from why to when, and then the how. So then eventually, I started coaching and helping people on creating an elevator from creating a networking plan to an elevator pitch and preparing them to network at business professional events. And that's the how. And that's just an abbreviated version.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, so get social with your story. So you have your core message, you have at least 3 stories. From those stories, bless you, you want to create an emotional impact. Number 4, you want to create an emotional impact. All right, one of my friends, he always says, don't let your highs get too high and your lows too low. Okay? So if you're able to add some emotion to those stories, right? Are you showing up as your authentic self time and time again? Are you relatable? Okay. I know for me, earlier this year, I had the chance to speak at Texas A&M University for their Southwestern Black Leadership Conference. And I posted on social media, once again, this is an abbreviated story, but I remember applying to that conference in 2013. I applied in 2013 for 2014, right? New speaker, right? I don't know nothing. Sometimes naive is great. And I applied and they turned me down, right? And then I applied again for 2015 going into 2016 and they turned me down. But I've been speaking, right? In front of 2 people, 4 people, 40 people, I kept speaking. And I applied last year to speak this year. And I had a chance to present twice. I did 2 different presentations at Texas A&M. I was like, oh, y'all making up for lost time. I'm here for it. I'm here for it, right? So, but with that, I was able to put that emotion out there, right? I was able to say like, oh, guess what? I'm speaking at Texas A&M. Like, yes, that's great, but go back to the process, right? I go back to the story behind it. That they didn't accept me the first time. They didn't accept me the second time. But I'm here now, right? So, and you got to be careful. This might be my little rant, because you have a lot of people talking about vulnerability and transparency. And I'm not saying we need pictures of you boo-hooing on the floor, you know, doing like we don't need all that, right? So be cognizant of what's appropriate to share on those platforms. Who's following you? Who's not following you? Is it a public or is it amongst friends? So just be mindful of the emotions that you do let out when you're sharing your story, whether it's through written or video. Okay? Engaging. This is something that's important to me. I think is underutilized. If you leave a comment on my page, I acknowledge every comment. Okay. My friend laughs at me because, you know, birthdays is usually when you get the most comments or posts. And I go back and I thank everyone, because I feel like if you can take 1 minute to wish me happy birthday, I need to take 1 minute to say thank you, okay? Or I need to like the Instagram comment you left on my page. Now, everyone has a different philosophy behind that, but I think it goes a long way as you start to build your brand, okay? But likes are one thing depending on the platform, but if someone asks you a question on your platform, you need to answer it. You need to acknowledge it. If you are a business, I did this workshop last week. One of the attendees worked for Amity Bank, and I was like, you are a business. People are looking at your Twitter feed. People are looking at your post on any platform. You need to acknowledge the comment and take it offline, all right? So if you're a business that is handling customer service through Facebook, and you know Facebook tells you the response time on the business page, you need to acknowledge that comment and say, hey, can we chat? Can we email? Or offline, right, off the thread, okay? Yeah, because people are looking at you. So be mindful of that depending on the type of business you run. Okay?
I just thought it was interesting. I went on Amazon and on the product, and it was interesting. One of the comments was over there, oh, you know, I contact customer service, and they always say in the comment, oh, call us. The customer service is bad, they don't respond. No, I just thought it was funny, like they were trying to take it offline, and then somebody put it back on.
And I mean, it's crazy because people are looking, but it's one of those things where it's not better to do nothing. Like, you have to acknowledge. Do you have a question?
Yeah, I was going to say, and you may get to this later, when you're talking about being relatable and engaging and all that, what if you're an introvert type person and it's hard for you to, you know, even engage in that manner?
Yeah, I think, I mean,
that's not me, it's me. No, I'm just saying.
No, okay. I think, once again, introvert organization, you know, I think you need to acknowledge, especially if it's an open-ended question, you need to acknowledge that question on your platform, okay? And then if you don't want people seeing the thread, once again, take it offline. Like, or send them a message like, hey, I saw you posted this, I'll be glad to address it, ... You know, you want to, once again, I cannot repeat this, you want to address the open-ended questions, okay? Some people leave statements and be like, okay, whatever, you know. If it's a statement, it's a statement, but if it's a question, it needs to be addressed. All right, this is my favorite part. So, the triad of influence. Okay, so once again, the title, 7 Steps to Creating an Influential Personal Brand. This is the bread and butter right here, okay? I'm giving you the meat and potatoes. This is the bread and the butter. Who has the best bread and butter? Papa Do's? I don't know. But this is it right here, okay? So the triad of influence, 3 parts, okay? Y'all are just taking notes. Got me feeling good about myself. I don't want y'all to miss this though, okay? All right, triad of influence. You have 3 parts. The first part is your relationships. Your relationships. I have relationships in here. I have Godiva, I have Tina, I have Brian. People that came out to support me, didn't know I'm here, but they're here in this room to support me, right? These are people they can call on me, I can call on them. hey, can you do this for me? I need a favor. More than likely they say yes. If they say no, it's still all good. Okay? These are your relationships. These are the people you can count on. All right? That's the easy part. Okay? Lots of times people feel like my friend doesn't support my business. They may not, but more than likely you still have a good relationship with them. Okay? The audience. The audience is the masses. You're my audience, right? I have a lot more people in here that's my audience than my relationships. Okay? So the audience are the new people. These are the people that have probably, this is the tricky part, because especially if you're hovering in that brand awareness part, where they've seen your name, personal name, company name, they've seen your face, they've seen your logo, but they don't know who you are or what you do. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. I keep seeing it, but I'm not quite sure. Can anyone tell me how many impressions it takes before it's 7? 7? Right? What is it? Like 7 impressions before you can identify and recognize the company, right? So if you're running Facebook ads, this can be important, right? So if you're running Facebook ads for brand awareness, and you're running it against the audience, okay? Depending on the objective, sales, leads, things of that nature, okay? So the audience is the masses. They are starting to recognize you. It's the early stages of brand awareness. They're recognizing you, your name, your company name, your logo, your branding, things of that nature, but they're not 100% sure who you are and what you do. Okay? The community. This is your tribe. These are the people that know you. Okay? They know who you are. They know what you do. They're sending you Facebook messages. What time do you speak on Thursday? 11 a.m. Okay? That's your tribe. The beauty of the tribe, the bread and butter of the tribe is they're your evangelists. Those are the people that are sharing your posts. Those are the people that are going out and telling people about you. Oh, I just heard Michelle speak on personal branding. She was great. Okay? These are the people that are going to support you when you're writing your book. Right? These are the people that are, if they're not in a position to support your business, they're referring people to your business. Okay? So let me ask you this. I'm sure some of us go to church. If you go to church, you come in, you get to church late, you sit on the back row, and you leave church early. Okay? Are they part of the audience or the community? Why are they part of the audience? They're not connected? Because I decided to leave early and late. I could have been connected the 20 minutes I was there. Yes.
They're sort of there for as little as possible.
Okay.
They got what they needed.
They got what they needed?
But they could be a friend too.
It might depend. It might be that week that you didn't have time, but maybe before you did.
Okay. So if I ask you, did you go to church this past Sunday? What's your name?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I did.
Okay. Okay. What church do you go to?
Bible Way Fellowship.
Okay. So are you part of the audience or the community?
I'm a part of the tribe.
Part of the tribe. Okay. Regardless of what time you came in, regardless of what time you left early, you're still telling me what church you go to. You're going to share with me the message. You're going to tell me your pastor. You're part of the tribe.
Yep.
Right? Because you're still sharing that message, right? When the conversation comes up, you're still sharing that message, right? In most cases, this is where you're going to make, I don't want to say you're going to make your money, but your linking arm is your community, right? It's a triad of influence, okay? So you need all of these, though. You need all of these to be successful. You need the relationships, you need the audience, and you need the community. We're almost done, y'all. All right. From connections to credibility. From connections to credibility. Number 6, from connections to credibility. So this is the media, the PR, public relations component. So what was number 1? Core message, right? You can't do any media if you don't have a core message. What are you going to tell people? Right? Fake news, right? And hopefully with that core message, you have a story you can share when you're getting interviewed, right? Make sense? Okay? The reason why you want to do interviews is you want to solidify your expertise. You want to solidify your expertise. We know this brings so much validation, right? When we go to a website and it says as featured, as seen on CNN, they're like, oh man, he knows what he's talking about. I'm going to take all his money advice. Our CNN money, right? We just like, okay, you know, they've done something. They've been on Good Morning America. They've been in all of these publications, right? It's validation. And if you're good enough for CNN money, I want to do business with you. Solidify your expertise through interviews. Okay? Those interviews bring credibility. All right? So you're going to garner a new audience. All right? So this is the thing. We just did the Triad of Influence, number 5. Right? The reason why you want to do interviews is because you're going to get in front of new people. So check this out. If I do an interview on a podcast, I send an email to the host, trying to stir up this new relationship, right? I know you have a good audience. I want to get in front of. I think I can bring value to your audience. And I'm hoping if I do the interview well enough in front of your new audience, some of those people will be part of my community. Okay? So we still go back to the Triad of Influence. You want to have a relationship with the host. You want to get in front of their audience. You want to cipher some of those people into your community. Does that make sense? All right, someone show me the money. All right, someone show me the money. All right, so this is the last part. This is the monetizing piece, okay? There's so many ways to make money, but as I stated earlier, you want to play to your strengths. What's going to work for you? What's going to work for your people? Is it writing a book? Is it coaching, consultation, doing webinars, public speaking, membership program, doing workshops, like creating your own workshop? What is going to work for you when it comes to making money? But people are not going to give you their money if you're not showing value. People are not going to give you their money if they don't know what you do. Wait, what did she talk about? Like, you want me to pay you $50 and I don't know what you do? I don't know what your core message is? And then if we go back to the credibility, the media piece, right? You're credible. You spoke at People Fund. You were on CNN Money. You were on Fox News or something. You're credible. I trust you. You brought value this whole time through your social media posts, through your blog, through your guest interviews. Yeah, I want to hear what she has to say. I'll give her the $25. I'll give her the $500. Okay? Show me the money. And there's so many ways to make money. This is just a few. Okay?
I might be a little slow, but what are digital products?
So digital products could be a checklist, could be a course. Some of it's redundant. Yeah, the ebook, right? Maybe only on Kindle, or maybe it's a PDF that you download. People are creative. I know people that, well, I don't know them personally, but on Instagram, people are doing illustrations. You know,
Okay.
yeah. Some people charge to be on their podcast. So. If you're gonna, whether it's free or if you're charging, add value. Always add value to people, right? How are you gonna make their lives easier? A lot of people are like, Michelle, how do I launch a podcast? And then I'm like, okay, I don't mind telling people, right? But now I'm like, here's my checklist. Call me if you need me. You know? And they're like, oh, this is great. And then I don't have to take as many phone calls. Okay? Any questions?
When you say don't need to take as many phone calls, like to explain what you are doing.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Now, so these are the 7 steps to create and influence your personal brand, right? So it's easy to be like, okay, I need to do everything 1 through 7, right, in order. Maybe you're on number 3, okay? Right now I'm focusing on number 6. Last month I got this crazy idea. I want to do 100 media interviews and placements by the end of the year. Okay, so I'm focusing on number 6 right now. But I'm still doing all 7, right? So you may do 1 through 7 in order. If you're starting out, you may focus on number 3, you may jump to number 7. But all of these play a part when it comes to building your personal or company brand. So